Hey guys, so today I wanted to sit down and do like a get ready with me chit chat video because I have some big news and today is an exciting day for me. If you haven't watched my Snapchat or if you don't follow me on Instagram, I did get engaged recently. So today is the first day that we're gonna start going out and looking at some wedding venues. And so I'm doing that here in a little while. And so I wanted to look all pretty today and get some lashes on and everything. So I thought I would just sit down and do a chit chat get ready with me so that I can kind of just catch up with you guys and we can talk about some new products. I'm already moisturized. I'm going to start out with my Laura Geller Spackle. This is one of my favorite primers. It is totally underrated. It works amazingly for filling in your pores and just kind of makes your makeup look smooth and perfect all day. Right now I'm kind of in between shades with a lot of my foundations, and so I don't have many that match me, but one that does is the Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Foundation. This is in the shade Medium Sand. The brush I'm going to be using today for my foundation is the Sigma Curved Kabuki. It's the F83, and this is from the new Dimensional Brushes line, and these were sent to me a couple weeks ago and I've been using them constantly. I was sent this one that I'm going to use today, and then also the 3D HD Max Kabuki. And I think I like this one a little bit better than this one. I really like this one, but this one is better because you can also use it for cream contour. It's got like this ridge down the middle. And not only that, but when you're putting your foundation on like this, you can make the brush last like twice as long before having to wash it, because you could just the next day flip it over and use the other side. So I do like this one a little bit more. It's also just a little bit bigger than this one, but I do like this as well. It looks blue because I just used my Cinema Secrets brush cleaner on it the other night. So this foundation, I'm just gonna squeeze it directly onto my face because I find that if you squeeze it onto your hand and then dip the brush in it, like you lose a lot of the product in that process. So I find that just squeezing it directly onto my face and then blending it with a brush works much better. And we're gonna blend down onto the neck because we don't wanna be that girl that has foundation that does not blend in with her neck. I mean, I've been that girl many times, even recently, but today we're gonna try to avoid it. I love brushes like this that have just a really big brush head because it makes it so much quicker than if you're using a little teeny tiny brush to blend in your foundation. And you know I'll be running late for work every morning, girl. For concealer, I'm using Tarte Shape Tape. Of course, I have hair on me. I have two different shades. One's gonna go under my eyes, and then the other one I'm gonna use to just cover up these two little pigmentation marks that I have right here. I got off of my birth control, I don't know, like 6 to 8 months ago, and these spots have faded significantly, and so I attribute them to the birth control, not to the sun like I originally thought. So I use the shade Light Medium for this, and then Light Neutral under the eyes because it's a brighter shade, and so it looks better under the eyes than like the medium shade that I use to cover up my blemishes. I'm gonna take my EcoTools sponge. This is the closest dupe to a beauty blender that I've found, and it's only $10 for this one, and then it comes in a 2-pack with a smaller size one also. And I honestly don't notice a difference when I'm using the beauty blender versus when I'm using this, and so this has just been my daily go-to for, I don't know, months. I still have a handful of beauty blenders that I use, but next I'm going to take the Select Sheer Pressed Powder from MAC, and this is in the shade NC40, but I mean, does this look like NC40? No, it does not. So I'm just going to take this big fat brush from Zoeva and just kind of set my foundation. And this powder is super sheer. It's just like, I just use it to set everything. And I find that if I put a little bit on my cheeks right here before I do my bronzer will go a lot smoother. Like I don't have those muddy marks when I use a powder before my bronzer. So next on my list is my bronzer, and I'm using the NYC Sunny Bronzer. And I've had this forever. I use this every day. At least as of recently, I've been using this every day, and it's barely shrunk at all. And so I love it. It was like $3, okay? $3. Moving on to blush, I'm taking this little duo from Becca, and this is one of the Jaclyn Hill collection ones, and it has Champagne Pop and Flower Child for the blush. So yes, I am engaged. Braithen proposed to me at my birthday party 2 weeks ago today. On the 12th was the day of my birthday party, and I knew he was gonna do it eventually because we've talked about it a lot, but I had no idea it was gonna be that night. And it was really sweet because there were a bunch of our really close friends there with us. And afterward, okay, so every year I do the same thing. I go to the same restaurant for sushi, and then afterward it's in the same parking lot as my favorite bar. I don't like bars a lot, but I love this bar that's here. And so every year I go to this restaurant and followed up by this bar. So we have 15 close friends at dinner, and that's when he proposed. And then afterward we go across the parking lot to the bar, and there are like 30 more people waiting there for us, including my parents. It was just the sweetest thing ever. His parents were there, and it was just a wonderful night. I'm super duper blessed, and I'm really happy, and I never thought I could be this happy and carefree, and it's just awesome. So next I'm gonna contour my nose. I'm gonna go into the shade Fawn from Anastasia, and this is just on an eyeshadow brush from Wet n Wild, and contour the shit out of it. I feel like maybe I'm putting too much on right now, but. So going back into this little Becca duo, I'm gonna take a little bit of Champagne Pop on the tip of my middle finger, tap it onto the tip of my nose. I don't care what anyone says, like nose highlight is never going out of style for me. Did I ever tell you guys about that time that some girl was like, you shouldn't do highlight on your nose because your nose is long and sharp and it really accentuates that? And I was like, bitch. Then I'm gonna take a little bit more of that and on the brush and blend it under the cheeks and up onto the temple, forehead. I mean, who are we kidding? It's going everywhere. Oh. I feel like I need more highlighter. What, Chili? What, Chiller? All right, so next up is my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Water, and honestly, I prefer this as like a setting spray compared to a primer. It's amazing for both, but I like it for a setting spray after I've done my face makeup. And a lot of people have asked me, why do you do your face makeup before your eye makeup? Because there's fallout with eyeshadow and all that. And my answer is I like to live life on the edge. I've just always done it that way ever since I started doing makeup when I was like 12 years old. And if I feel like I'm gonna be having a problem with an eyeshadow that has fallout, then I'll just put something under my eye like this to catch the fallout. So, I mean, work smarter, not harder. So what I like to do with the primer water is after I have all of my face makeup on and all the powders and everything, I will spray, well, like drench my entire face. Oh no, baby, what is you doing? So that it looks wet. And then I will take the back of my sponge and blend everything in where there's like extra powder. So I've got powder blush, powder bronzer, powder highlighter, everything right here. And by doing this, it just helps everything set into the skin and look more natural, and it won't look like you have a ton of makeup sitting on top of your skin, even if you used a ton of makeup. Then just to kind of clean up the edge of my bronzer, because I'm kind of in natural light, but I have these artificial lights in front of me as well, and so those can kind of trick the eye. And so just to make sure my line right here isn't like super muddy, I'm just gonna take this tip of the Beauty Blender that has concealer on it from my under eye and just tap along like that, and that will clean up anything that shouldn't be there. Perfect. Next up, we're gonna move on to brows, and I'm gonna use the Anastasia Brow Definer, and this is in the shade Soft Brown. I find that this is just the most universal shade for me. Like, no matter what color my hair is at the moment, this shade is gonna work because you can use a heavier hand and make it darker if you need to. I haven't trimmed my brow hairs in a while, so I really need to tame them. So I'm using some clear brow gel from Anastasia. Next up, I'm priming my eyes using the same thing I always use, MAC Painterly Paint Pot, and I'm using a Sigma P82 Precision Round Brush. It's just like a little tiny kabuki. So I've zoomed you in for the eye look, and the palette we're using today is by Marc Jacobs. This is the Glambition palette, and this was sent to me complimentary to test out and review, and I love it. All of the eye brushes that I'm using today are by Sigma. Sigma released a 13 piece copper eye set, and it's like all of their best-selling eye brushes in one set, and it's incredible. So the first brush I'm using is the E35. It is one of my favorite blending brushes. It has goat hair, and I've talked about this brush so many times on my channel. There is a dupe from Morphe for this brush, but the bristles aren't nearly as soft, and the Morphe one sheds a lot more. And so by paying just a little bit more for this brush from Sigma, you're gonna be getting a lot better quality of a brush. Not only do they shed less, but each of the handles from Sigma, they have like 5 coats of paint, and so you know it's not gonna be chipping off. Oh, and by the way, the shade that I used is called Infamous right here. This is the really nice transition shade. It's pretty similar to Soft Brown from MAC, but it's not quite as pink as Soft Brown. Next, I'm taking this shade right here called Seeking. And to apply the shade, I'm using the Sigma E40, and the bristles are just as long, but there are fewer of them, so it's more loosey-goosey, and it's really nice for applying shades in the crease. So I know there are a lot of people that are my age and older that watch my channel, and so I just want to share a little tip for those of us whose eyes are starting to fall just a little bit, like our eye skin is getting a little bit looser. I used to be able to do my makeup with my eyes closed like this. Now I find that if I keep my eyes open and I just look down into the mirror, then it's a lot easier, and I can see, like, I don't know, it like tightens the eye skin by looking down, but not so much that like you're, you know, like if you pull it like this to tighten it, you're not gonna see, you can't pull it like this and blend and expect to know exactly where the color is gonna end up when you're pulling your skin all the way out here. So I find that it's easier now to get targeted placement when I just keep my eyes open and look down at the mirror. Next, I'm going into that same shade called Seeking, and this is going to be on a Sigma E36. This is a teeny tiny little blending brush, and it is amazing for under the eye. Next, I'm going into this pink shimmery shade. It's called The Most, and that's what I like to do. So I'm taking this Sigma E55 eye shading brush. This is incredible for depositing shimmery colors. There are a lot of bristles, and so the amount of fallout that you get with this brush is very minimal. Next, I'm going into the lightest shade in the palette, and it's called She Was. And I'll be applying this with a Sigma E30 pencil brush just to that inner corner. Next, going into this deep brown shade called Over the Top. I love this brown. It's a nice, pretty warm brown without being purpley. I'm going to use the same brush that I did on my lower lash line, the E36. The way that I do my V is like the bottom part is actually on the lid, and I just go out just a little bit and then bring it back in the very base of the crease. Next, I'm going to use the same dark brown shade, but I'm going in with this Sigma E20 short shader brush. With a tiny bit of shadow, I'm going to pop this just right up next to my lower lash line, really, really close to the lashes. Then going back in with the E36 with no additional color on the brush, I'm just going to blend that out. We're going to do a small wing. Well, I say small, but I can't keep it small, so I'm gonna try to do a small wing. I'm gonna use the Morphe Slate Gel Liner. It's just black gel liner from Morphe, and I'm using the Sigma E65 small angle brush. Are you kidding me? So much for a small wing. We're now gonna have to make it enormous. For mascara, I'm going in with L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black. So going back to my wedding, today will be the first venue we will have visited, and the one that we're going to today is like an all-inclusive actual venue. It is an actual wedding place, and so they have different packages and whatnot, you know, but pretty much everything is included. Catering, servers, you can get like a bar package, photographer, florist and stuff, depending on how much money you want to pay. So honestly, it's a beautiful place. I've seen their website and they have really good reviews, and my cousin actually got married there, but I don't see myself getting married in an actual like dedicated wedding venue because it's too cookie cutter for me. And like a lot of times with those places, if you want certain things, you have to use their service for that thing. Like if you want a specific type of catering, you have to use their caterers of choice. Like you have to pick somebody from their list, and I don't want to be tied down by rules, you know what I mean? Like if I want a taco truck at my wedding, which is highly likely, then I don't want to be restricted by some venues, you know, regulations. I don't want to have to use only the caterers that they give me a list of, you know what I mean? So Today, we are going pretty much for just price and comparison shopping. It's kind of like when you buy a house, you don't just go look at 2 or 3 houses that are in your budget. You look at everything. You look at things that are below your budget, above your budget, and you see what you're not willing to compromise on and what you are, and the things that you can do yourself. So today is just kind of like the jumping off point. It's going to be Braithen and I and his parents going, and it should be a lot of fun. As a makeup artist, there are a few pet peeves I have, and one of them is when somebody has on eyeshadow and no mascara and they have dusty ass eyelashes. You know what I mean? It's like, those of us in the industry, we all have our pet peeves. Like hairstylists, when they see somebody with like brassy ass, orangish blonde hair, they're just like, it's cringeworthy, you know? It's the same thing, like makeup artists have their things where they see people in public and they're like, let me fix your eyebrows. I know I have always said, do whatever you want with your makeup. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really affect other people's lives. At least it shouldn't. But still, at the same time, they're kind of like little universal rules. So, and this is from NYX. It is the Crystal Silk liquid liner. It's just a nice solid gold liquid liner. No like other colors in there or anything. Like a lot of times you get a silver glitter and there are other random colors like pink and blue. I'm not down with that most of the time. For the next step, I'm taking the Sigma E37. This is the all over blend eye brush. Super soft, super plush. There's just a lot of bristles, and I'm gonna just go over the top of the shadow just to make sure everything is blended nicely. This eye brush set is totally worth the investment. It's 13 pieces, so you get every brush that you could possibly need for an eye look. I'm obviously not gonna use all the brushes and show them all to you today because I don't need 13 brushes for one eye look, you know, but any eye look that you could potentially need, you have every brush that you need. Not only that, but the quality at Sigma is just amazing. I've used these brushes long before I was affiliated with them on my channel. I was constantly ordering new Sigma brushes because when I would get 1 or 2 and I'd be like, man, I love these. I just want to try the other versions and the other variations and the other types of bristles that they have, different sizes. And so I've been using Sigma for years and years, but I am an affiliate with them, as many of you guys know, and I do have a code. If you use NicoleMW, you'll get 10% off your entire purchase. So if you're gonna invest in an eye brush set, I would definitely recommend this one. Plus they're copper, so it's beautiful. And these are all their best-selling eye brushes. So you know you're getting brushes that people love, not just brushes that I love, but brushes that everybody loves. Today I am using the Cocoa Lashes in the style Baby G, and yes, just embarrass me, it's okay. So this is the style Baby G. I've been liking these a lot because they're kind of long and piecey, and they're just like a sort of a demi version of their Goddess lashes, which are really, really long. So this is like the same thing, just kind of shorter. I turned 31 this year, and I feel like my late 20s, there were a lot of struggles. One of my very best friends told me, she's a year older than me, and she told me 30 is gonna be your best year yet. Just you wait. And this was like, she told me that right after my ex-boyfriend broke up with me, and I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. But she was right. She was so right. 30 was the best year by far for me. It was just incredible. And I learned a lot about myself in this last year. I've faced some challenges for sure, but it's easier to face them when you have an amazing supportive partner by your side, and that's all I have to say about that. This eyelash glue is basically dry, so I'm gonna stick this on really quick. I've probably worn this pair of lashes about 5 times now, and so it's like, it's already shaped to my eye. Just, they pop on really easily. Boom, bitch, what a difference. Honestly, you guys, I feel like I need to stop cussing as much. I cuss so much. I have a foul mouth, especially when I'm behind the wheel. But I don't know, I feel like, you know, as I'm getting into like mom age, you know, I feel like maybe it's time to clean up my language a little bit. I never thought I'd say this. I love cussing. And here we go. All right, all right, all right. Okay, next we're moving on to lips, and I'm using the Bite Beauty lip pencil in the shade 20. This is like the perfect nude. I have to go find my lip gloss now. I have no idea where it is. And I'm also gonna straighten my hair really quick, so I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. I changed my dress because, I don't know, I just wanted to look like a princess. So I changed into this long, beautiful floral maxi dress. So lip gloss, MAC Creme Sheen Glass in the shade Fashion Whim. This is one of my all-time favorite nude glosses. I'm like out of breath because I was like trying to squeeze myself into this dress. I can't zip it up by myself, I need help. So as soon as somebody else gets to my house that can help me, we gonna suck it in and zip it up. All right, so hair, what am I gonna do? I don't know. I think I'm just gonna tease it a little bit on this side so I have like a little bit of a swoop. And just because it's hot outside, so I don't want my hair on my ears. Oh God, this is so frizzy. Oh, it's my daily life story. I'm just gonna pin my hair back right here on these layers that are just right above my ear, just to keep it out of my way. And I just do like a little crisscross with these bobby pins and then put this layer over the top of it. And hopefully this is socially acceptable. And I think that's it. So of course this is the final look. I mean, I don't need to do anything else. This is already so extra, but thank you so much for watching today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this little get ready with me video. And if there's anything you want to see in the future, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll just have to try to make time to film that for you. If you like this video, please don't forget to click subscribe if you're not subscribed, and also click like down below. And don't forget to follow me on social media, Snapchat, Instagram, everything's down below. And I will also link the Marc Jacobs palette that I used, and it's brand new, so it should still be in stock. And then I will also link all of the brushes that I talked about from Sigma as well. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.